on the screen, yes, Felice Kafusi is suspended. So this is how it is named. I'll let you talk through this, and then I'll give you my thoughts on who I think will replace, obviously, Kafusi in this position.
Yeah, look, you got the Dolphin hammer in the fullback role. You got Jermaine Asako and Tessie New in the wing position, Uran Aiken and Branko Lee in the centre role, with Isaiah Katoa, Sean O'Sullivan, Nathan Cleary 2.0 in the halves pairing, like Jesse and Kenneth Bromwich in the forward role, Cody Nicarima to make the hooker, Khalees Kafusi and Connolly Lemieux in the second row, with Tom Gilbert making the lock, Jarrah Wallace, the March Nichols, Ray Stone, Mason Telangi, and Posa Fasamaluali in the 18th jersey. If it was me picking a player to replace Kafusi, I might start Jarrod Wallace and maybe move Kenneth back to second row, maybe put Jarrod in the front row position, move it around that way. I know this was the team list named before the fate coming into this weekend. There is reports that Isaiah Katoa, the number 6 man, might be rested this week, might be injured by Wayne Bennett, just to sort of keep him out of the fire. He might be coming up against the Broncos this week. He might be kept out of the fire, rested for this week, and you might see an Anthony Milford return to his old stomping ground, where he's had his back against the wall with regards of he's been unfit for the last week. The players have called him out, the coaches called him out, told him he's not good enough, and now he's back to try and prove a point and maybe keep this spot for later on. But that's where I'm leaning to. And as we look into your thoughts about this team, go ahead, Tony.
Well, I'm actually going to read word for word what I've had here. So I actually had, and it's exactly what you just said. I did have Kenny Bromwich to move to the second row, with Wallace making his way into the starting lineup. So I think that's kind of that rumor going around, that rumor circulating. It's probably what you're going to see. If I'm Wayne Bennett, it's probably the smartest option coming against the Dolphins. Now, with Katoa, he does have an apparent elbow injury. I don't think Wayne Bennett's trying to protect him here, because if you're trying to protect him, you probably would have thrown him to the bench when they did play the Roosters, because they were expected to get smashed in that game. They didn't. But if you're throwing the keys to this young kid against the Roosters round 2, round 3, and they're sitting 3-0, you need him to get used to losing games too. So that probably gives away that prediction of how I think this game's going to go. But I'll chuck the next screen up there and I'll talk you through it, and we'll get our predictions. It's Reece Walsh, Jesse Arthurs, Katoni Staggs, Herbie Farnworth, Cobbo, Ezra Mann, and Adam Reynolds in the halves, Thomas Flegler, Billy Walters, Payne Haas, Kurt Capewell, Jordan Ricky, Patrick Carrigan, Corey Pax, Keenan Palacia, Corey Jensen, Marty Tapau, and obviously Deanne Mariner on the 18th man position. So a very strong squad. Reece Walsh has lit up the competition. Let's be completely honest. The first 3 rounds, the preseason, there's all these questions going, what is Walsh going to do with this Brisbane side? Can he take him to the next level? This, that. They talked about his Warriors form, how he played there, but he was suspended or injured in round 1. He came in round 2. He absolutely dominated. He's coming in the third game, and in a 10-minute period, he's looked like probably the best fullback of the competition so far. So he's definitely a solid player. He's definitely able to get the wheels moving. But I just look at this team. I look at the Dolphins team, and I was already leaning towards Brisbane winning this game off the back of Adam Reynolds, Ezra Mann, Reece Walsh. You've got Big Flegler. You've got Payne Haas, who, like we said, is playing $1 million a season, if not more, is what he should be paying, how he's playing at the moment. You've then got Kurt Capewell's experience. You've got Patrick Carrigan in the lock position. You've then got Marty Tapau coming off the bench. So they've got great depth in this 18-man squad. You chuck in their rest of their depth, and they're a very strong team moving forward. So I'm going to lock it in. I think it's Judgment Day for the Dolphins. I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but I think for this week, it is going to be a Brisbane Broncos 13-plus victory.
I'll touch on what you said. before about chucking the keys to the kid. I think he got there because Anthony Milford dropped the ball, so he had to start. Like, they had no one else.
You can't say Anthony Milford dropped the ball because this kid barely had any experience.
The players called it out on him and said, "You are unfit to play."
So you're telling me. Let's go back a couple of years. Cooper Cronk's unfit. You're going to debut a rookie over Cooper Cronk?
The difference between Cooper Cronk and Anthony Milford, Cooper Cronk won a couple more premierships.
Are you going to take an inexperienced kid with no experience against the side and say he didn't earn that?
Well, you expect were the Dolphins expected with all this hype to win round one? No. So what did he have to lose? Nothing. Anthony Milford was called up by his players that he was unfit. He had not met the standards at which the players or the club had set. So they gave Wayne Bennett had no other option, I believe, and gave this kid a start. Yes, they're going 0-3, but as an 18-year-old, what you don't want to do, and this is inexperienced coaches normally do this, they just leave the play out there and come round 7 or 8, they feel tired. They're just not themselves, and it's too late. Maybe the experienced Wayne, at 73, 74 years old, has seen it and gone, yeah, maybe something last game he's seen. He's wheeling him and going, look, have a week off, rest yourself, and come back next week or the week after. You don't want to be burnt out too early in your first season of the NRL. So maybe that's the path that Wayne's going down, which is fortunate enough for Anthony Milford. It opens his spot back up. But I don't think it's just been like I'm looking at that. It's an 18-year-old kid that Wayne might have seen something in his game last week that warrant him having a rest. But apparently he's labelled injured for this week. But what you read into it, you've got to take with a grain of salt. So again, looking at this one, Reece Walsh, amazing performance last week. As I said, he's thrown his name into the ring for the for State of Origin fullback, and if he continues this on till Origin period, I think he gets the nod easily over anybody else. But I'm gonna go a little bit closer. I'm gonna go Broncos 1-12. I think it's going to be a closer game than everybody thinks. I think Dolphins are going to get up for a fight, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout like you said with the 13+.
Well, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I thought the Dolphins were going to lose this game, but given Kaufusi was out, that's kind of what moved me from that 1-12 to 13+. But I think you're completely correct when you say, is Wayne Bennett protected him in a sense? Because I look at the same thing that Trent Robinson did with Suoli'i. He played him a couple games, he rested him a couple games, he played him a couple games, he rested him, and then he threw him to the fences. So I don't see a world where, unless Anthony Milford comes out and sets up 25 tries this week, I really don't see a world that Katoa doesn't take back the starting position against the Dragons the week after. So Baxter's gone 1-12. I've gone 13+. Someone's getting the brownie points there. Obviously, that is based on if Brisbane do get the result. So last time we said this, someone else when they got the result, and we both got 0 points. So we'll see how that one plays out. But